AEW commentator and former Ring of Honor World Champion Nigel McGuinness is taking measures to try and make an in-ring return with a possible match at AEW All In at London's Wembley Stadium, potentially on the table. Details on that, plus one match that won't be happening at Wembley will be Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega, but there were plans for the match to take place at All In. We've got details on that, plus two big events have been announced by Tony Khan, one being Fight for the Fallen, as well as Fighter Fest in the build-up to AEW All In. A Texas Chainsaw Massacre Deathmatch has been announced for Fight for the Fallen this coming Wednesday on Dynamite. The Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship match at All In on the 0 hour has now been confirmed. Saraya will be competing at All In for the Women's Championship after qualifying for the four-way match last night on Rampage. Will Ospreay has got rid of the IWGP US Championship and converted it into the IWGP United Kingdom Championship. Plus, Ricky Starks and more announced for tonight's edition of AEW Collision. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of All Elite Wrestling. Let's start off talking about this breaking news story just coming in the last few minutes at the time of recording this video regarding Nigel McGuinness. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select is reporting that Nigel McGuinness could be headed back to the ring. Now, sources have confirmed to Fightful Select that former Ring of Honor World Champion has been taking measures to try and make an in-ring return. Now, they do stress they've not been told definitively that McGuinness has been cleared for an in-ring return, but he had been taking measures that indicated he was considering a return to the squared circle. Now, the 47-year-old McGuinness last wrestled well over a decade ago, with his last match being in December 2011. His last televised match was way back in September of 2010 on an episode of TNA Explosion against Stevie Richards. Now, Fightful can confirm that McGuinness was brought up in recent months as a possible competitor on the AEW All In card. However, they cannot confirm if there are plans in order for him to wrestle or if it's even been broached internally by All Elite Wrestling, but certainly McGuinness is taking measures and steps to make that in-ring return. What are your thoughts on this? Who would you like to see Nigel McGuinness face off against? And who do you think he could face at AEW All In? Let me know your thoughts, your predictions, your theories, as always, in the comments section below. Now, one match that won't be taking place will be Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega at AEW All In. Of course, Bryan Danielson broke his arm when Kazuchika Okada hit him with a flying elbow drop at Forbidden Door, but a huge rematch was at least considered for AEW All In with another talent, according to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select. Now, according to Sapp and Fightful, sources confirmed that Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson was at least considered for the show before Danielson's injury, and even for a little bit after the injury, as the company hoped he would be ready for a return. Of course, Bryan Danielson did mention at the post-Forbidden Door press conference that he thought he was going to be out for about 6 to 8 weeks. Of course, it's significantly longer than that. However, AEW sources claimed that there were also other plans for Omega, but didn't hear what those were. It was reiterated to Fightful that Omega and Danielson was considered but not planned, i.e. it was an option on the table, but not the option that they were definitely going with. The Wrestling Observer, of course, reported that Kenny Omega, Hangman Page, and Kota Ibushi versus Konosuke Takeshita and Bullet Club Gold is now the working plan. Of course, as of right now, that hasn't been announced. In addition, there were hopes that Jamie Hayter would be back from injury, so she could be featured on the show. They haven't heard of solid plans for what would have went down for her, but AEW found out last month that she'd likely be sidelined for the rest of the year at least, of course ruling her out of the big event in London. Pac was also featured into the card before his unfortunate injury that will reportedly put him out through AEW All In. So no Pac, no Jamie Hayter, no Bryan Danielson as well. And again, it sucks, but do you think we're going to be getting that match at some point in the future? Certainly a match that is befitting of taking place at Wembley Stadium. Now let's talk about another event that has been announced by Tony Khan, and that is AEW Fight for the Fallen. Tony Khan has announced special episodes of AEW's upcoming shows in light of the tragic wildfires in Maui, Hawaii, with wildfires in Hawaii destroying parts of Maui and leaving a current death toll of 55, which is continuing to rise according to AP. AEW CEO Tony Khan has made an announcement regarding how the company company plans to help. Tony Khan tweeted about AEW's plans for the charitable giving, saying the following, quote, "Based on the horrific fires in Maui, I've changed AEW's upcoming schedule to provide assistance. Next week on Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, it's AEW Fight for the Fallen 2023 on AEW Dynamite, AEW Rampage, and AEW Collision. Proceeds from AEW on August 16 Nashville and August 19 Lexington will go to the Maui Food Bank." AEW has held previous Fight for the Fallen themed episodes in past with the charitable theme. It is admirable to see the company poised to provide a donation to an organization providing local support to those directly impacted. Already announced for next week's edition of Dynamite, there's an interview segment where Kenny Omega is set to sit down with Jim Ross. MJF and Adam Cole will appear after they appeared to have a bit of a blip in their friendship as late. Of course, they're going to be in the AEW All-In main event. Also, Britt Baker will take on the Bunny to determine who will advance to the AEW Women's World Championship four-way match at AEW All-In at London's Wembley Stadium. And Darby Allin and Nick Wayne are set to face the Gates of Agony also as well. So that's going to be coming up next week. It's going to be Fight for the Fallen week with all of the proceeds from these shows going to the local Maui Food Bank. Really well-worthy cause considering everything that's going on there. And of course, thoughts, prayers and condolences go out to everyone affected by those wildfires. Now, another event has also been announced by Tony Khan. That's AEW Fighter Fest 2023. As mentioned, Khan previously took to social media to announce that next week's editions of Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision will be Fight for the Fallen 2023 episodes, raising money for the Maui Food Bank organization. Tony Khan has now thanked Warner Bros. Discovery and its TBS and TNT networks for working with AEW on late changes for these shows. Khan has now announced that AEW Fighter Fest 2023 will now take place in the week leading up to AEW All-In on August 27. He wrote, quote, "Thanks to our great partners, Warner Bros. Discovery, TBS, and TNT for working with us on last moment and late changes to our marketing assets to move up Fight for the Fallen to next week, AEW Dynamite, AEW Rampage, AEW Collision, Nashville, and Lexington to rally support for the Maui Food Bank for those in need. In conjunction with Fight for the Fallen moving to next week, AEW on TBS and TNT to support the Maui Food Bank, AEW Fighter Fest 2023 presented by AEW Fight Forever will now take place during one of our most important TV weeks ever, the week after next, the go-home week for All In." Now, as I mentioned, AEW has previously held Fight for the Fallen themed episodes in the past with a charitable theme, and again, it's fantastic to see that they're contributing to a well-worthy cause. Similarly, special Fighter Fest episodes of Dynamite have taken place since 2020. However, in recent years, the Fighter Fest specials have taken place over 2 weeks. Of course, that isn't going to happen this time around. It looks like it's just going to be a week of shows, a bit like with Fight for the Fallen, so keep an eye out for that one too. Now, one match that has been announced for Fight for the Fallen as well is this Texas Chainsaw Massacre Deathmatch. On last night's episode of Rampage, a match was announced for this week's Dynamite that is quite unusual. Announced by Jeff Jarrett and explained as a partnership with the new video game of the similar title, on this coming week's episode of Dynamite, there would be a Texas Chainsaw Massacre Deathmatch. Jeff Jarrett challenged Jeff Hardy to the match, telling him to bring his crew because he would never have his. Presumably, there are set to be plenty of shenanigans in this first ever match type, with Jarrett likely accompanied by Satnam Singh, Sanjay Dutt, and Jay Lethal at the very least. That means Hardy may well come rolling with Matt Hardy, Ethan Page, Brother Zay. Who even knows who else from the Hardy family is going to be involved in this? The Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game releases worldwide next week in the days after Dynamite, so undoubtedly the crossover promotion is set to heavily feature some aspect of the game elements. So it's going to be fascinating to see that. What are your thoughts on that one? Are you excited by that? What do you think of this promotion integration? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comments section below. Now, it's now confirmed, not only will Adam Cole and MJF be competing in the main event of AEW All-In, they're also going to be competing in the pre-show, the 0-hour show, challenging for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. MJF and Adam Cole are officially pulling double duty. On the August 9 episode of AEW Dynamite, MJF and Adam Cole issued a challenge to Aussie Open for the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles at AEW All-In 0 Hour. On the August 11 episode of AEW Rampage, Aussie Open accepted the challenge, making the bout official. MJF and Adam Cole will not only wrestle on the 0-hour pre-show, they will compete in the main event as MJF will defend his AEW World Championship against Adam Cole. On Dynamite, of course, Roderick Strong was upset that Cole picked MJF to go after the ROH Tag Team titles with, instead of him, a Ring of Honor legend. He was consoled by the Kingdom, that being Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. Where do you think this is going? Will they win the titles at All In? And what do you think it means for the main event? Is it them being overexposed, or do you like where they're going with this? Let me know your thoughts about that as well. Saraya will be competing at All In 2, challenging for the AEW Women's World Championship on the August 9 episode of Dynamite. AEW announced that the AEW Women's Championship would be defended in a 4-way match at All In on August 27. Former champion Toni Storm earned a bye and automatically received a spot in the match. Hikaru Shida, the reigning champion, then defeated Anna Jay on the August 9 episode of Dynamite to retain the title and advance to AEW All In. Saraya faced Sky Blue in a qualifying match on the August 11 episode of Rampage. Despite a valiant effort from Blue and interference from Ruby Soho and Toni Storm was just too much to overcome for the young upstart. In the end, Soho blinded Blue with spray paint and Saraya pinned her to clinch the victory. As a result, Saraya qualified for the title match at AEW All In. The 4th spot, as I mentioned, will be determined on this coming week's episode of Dynamite. Britt Baker's going to face off against the Bunny. The winner of the bout will join Storm, Shida, and Saraya at AEW All In with the title on the line. Now, let's talk a little bit about New Japan Pro Wrestling here, because this is very significant. Will Ospreay, he's converted a championship bout. Will Ospreay has redesigned the IWGP United States title. In a backstage interview following his New Japan G1 semi-final bout, Will Ospreay revealed that he changed the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship to be the IWGP United Kingdom Heavyweight Championship. Ospreay changed the US flag to the UK flag and replaced United States with United Kingdom on the title. He said, quote, "I'm the best in the world. Dear IWGP committee, you know, I don't need this. I want a throne that suits my needs and tastes." Ospreay won the US title from Kenny Omega at Forbidden Door. He made it to the semi-finals of the New Japan G1 Climax 33 tournament, losing to Tetsuya Naito on August 12. Naito will now face Kazuchika Okada in the finals of the tournament. So fascinating to see what this could mean moving forward. There had been rumors we would be getting Ospreay versus Jericho at AEW All In. Could that be for the IWGP UK Heavyweight Championship in London, in the UK, at Wembley Stadium? It certainly makes sense, doesn't it? Finally, tonight is another episode of AEW Collision on TNT, and Ricky Starks will speak on tonight's episode. As announced during the August 11 episode of Rampage, Starks will speak on the August 12 episode of Collision. On the August 5th episode, Starks unsuccessfully challenged CM Punk for the real AEW World Championship. Starks then attacked special outside official Ricky the Dragon Steamboat after the bout, whipping him with his own bout. Additionally, AEW announced that former TNT champion Powerhouse Hobbs will speak on the show. Hobbs has been at odds with QT Marshall and the QTV team in recent weeks. On the August 5 episode, Marshall offered Hobbs a chain and told him he'd hand him a win at AEW All Out, but Hobbs said he didn't need the help. But there you go, guys. It's the latest AEW news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon. Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.